If you have been struggling on whether you should move to Scotland or England, you could be someone who's migrating from a completely different country and you want to make an informed decision on whether you should relocate from there to Scotland or England. Or maybe you're a university student and you're trying to make a choice on whether you should choose between a Scottish university or an English university. Or you're someone who's just interested really in the UK life and you want to know the differences between Scotland and England. This video is for you and we are going to discuss those differences. Or you could be actually someone who is trying to move from England to Scotland, or it could be vice versa. This video is for you and it's going to say exactly the differences that are there between Scotland and England. So let's dive right into it. Hi, and welcome to Yeo's Corner, or should I say, welcome back to my subscribers. And if you have not subscribed yet, please press that button and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Right. So the first thing that I'll talk about, which is maybe obvious, it's about the weather. We all know that Scotland is known to be colder as compared to other parts of the UK. So in comparison with England, Scotland receives more wet weather as compared to England. In Scotland, it's colder, and to put it in numbers, during the winters they have the temperatures between 0 and 6, and you can tell that is a bit cold. And in England, the temperatures in winter, it is between 3 and 6, so you can see the difference there. And in summer in Scotland, the summers ranges between 16 up to 18 degrees Celsius, whereas in England they have between 16 up to 21. So you can see that England is a bit warmer, but this depends on the area that you're staying with, because in Scotland as well, the west tends to be more colder as compared to other parts of Scotland. So this is one of the things that you need to consider as well when you're making your decision. Right, so that's about it, about the weather. I will move to the next one. So I'm going to talk about cost of living. And on cost of living, I have compared I'm going to mainly focus on rentals, because I believe this is the major expense to most of the people, right? So I did my comparisons between two capital cities, that is Edinburgh, which is the capital city of Scotland, and London, which is the capital city of England. So according to my research, I've actually realized that it is cheaper to live in Edinburgh than to live in London, because on average, a person in Edinburgh, they pay about 1,000 to 1,500 for a two-bedroom. It could be a flat, or it could be an apartment, or even a house. They can, on average, now it will depend with whether it has two bathrooms or one bathroom. A lot of factors will determine the ultimate rental, but on average it's about 1,000 up to 1,500. And on the other side, in England, in London, you would need to pay something between maybe 1.5 up to 2,000 pounds for a two-bedroom apartment, and that's how expensive it is. But on the other side though, in London, I understand that they have what they call a cost of living adjustment in terms of people's salaries. Like if you live in London, you tend to get a much higher salary as compared to everyone else, because they know the cost of living there is high. So this one, it might compensate as well, but I've found that Edinburgh is cheaper as compared to London. Right. Okay. Now we're gonna move to the health sector, to the health system. We all know that in the UK they have what they call the NHS, which is free for everyone in the health. But in England, when you go to your GP and you get your prescription, you go to the pharmacy, you need to pay a certain amount for you to get your medication. I think it's somewhere between £9 to £10, or somewhere there. I'm not quite sure of the figure. And in Scotland, whereas in Scotland, you do not need to pay a thing. You just go to your GP, you get your prescription, you go to the pharmacy, that's it. You get your medication. So you can see the differences there. I might sound a bit biased because I stay in Scotland, but yeah, those are the differences in terms of their health. Otherwise, everything else seems to be the same. What is next? So, the other thing that I'll talk about is their education system. So, in terms of their education system, I'm going to mainly focus on universities. So, if you have lived in Scotland for 3 or more years, you are entitled to free tuition fees. Like, you don't pay a thing if you've lived in Scotland for 3 years. So, that's really something that is to think about. Like, you'd save a lot in tuition fees. Whereas in England, you need to pay if you're going to university. I'm not sure of the figures of how much you pay, but you need to pay. And for international students in Scotland, you obviously need to pay as well as in England. So that one is just the same. The last but not least thing that I want to talk about is the cultural diversity. So England tends to be more cultural diverse as compared to Scotland. What do I mean by this? So, according to recent statistics, they say that in England there is 82% white population as compared to 18% non-white population. Whereas in Scotland, there's 92% of white population as compared to 8% of non-white population rather. And you can see there, so this means that overall it means that England is more cultural diverse, right? Is that the word? I don't know if I've put it right, but you know what I mean. Like, it is diverse. You find, even if you're looking for, or let's say if you're from Africa, you're looking for an African store, it's easy to find one in England as compared to Scotland. According to my own experience, because I live in Scotland, like, I remember when I first came here, I would go into a supermarket, right? Or maybe in a bus, and I would be the only black person or the only person of color. That's how it is. Like, there is not a lot of non-white population there, but it's really nice. So now that you have it, now that you have the differences, now you know the differences. This is going to sound cliche, right? But the ball is in your court. You are going to choose. You are going to make the choice according to what you prioritize. Some prioritize education, some are going to prioritize weather, and some are going to prioritize the cost of living. So it's up to you. And there's also a lot of other differences that I did not put in this video, but I hope this is going to help someone out there to make an informed decision. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. Bye.